Hello guys, and welcome to this video to see what would you do if you see a patient like this. Alright, so very common situation in the clinic. You have a patient coming with a failing dentition or partially failing dentition, and then you need to take decisions on what to do here. Okay, so let's consider this situation. We already did perio. Of course, you need to see which tooth you can still save, which teeth, and then you would do perio, of course. Before that, even the medical history, the dental history, the clinical examination. And then considering that everything was fine, then this is your situation. Okay, so you decided to save these teeth here. So you are seeing that the canines are here, and what advantage do we have from this situation? So what should you do now? You need to take an impression or a conventional impression to digitalize, or the intraoral scans like these ones that you are seeing here. And then if you don't have time, you would send this to a planning center, a very nice planning center like Beyond Digital Solutions, the BDS one, which is the one that I sent. And then they would design everything to you, even plan the dental implants, which you can correct because the case belongs to you. So you are the responsible for the planning. You would correct this planning, and then they would at the end offer you a design of the surgical guide, of the temporary crowns, the temporary prosthesis, depending on the case, and then send you all the STL files, and then you would be able to 3D print or send to a lab to mill and 3D print, and then you would rehabilitate this patient, okay? But you need to have the knowledge on what to do. You need to see if the planning is correct for this patient. So what about vertical dimension? Do we have vertical dimension here? And then, of course, we need to analyze the situation, okay? So those are the intraoral scans, all right? We have extractions that happened, and now what is the planning here? You guys are seeing those holes in the mesh, meaning that the patient received dental implants. And now I'm going to add the dental implants and the crowns, the planning of the prosthesis, for you guys to understand how this case was designed. So this case was designed by our CAD/CAM technician and dental technician, Ms. Jacqueline Ferreira Lima, very good in ExoCAD. And then let's see how she did this case. Okay, very, very nice. So again, we have those premolars articulating with this canine, all right, on both sides. And at least we have some idea of the vertical dimension. Okay, so what to do now? We can keep the vertical dimension, but how the final prosthesis will be? Well, if you guys are thinking about FP3 on the MISH classification, okay, the implant-supported prosthesis, then you guys are absolutely right, because FP3 means that we have the pink statics as well, right? And not only the tooth emerging from the gingival tissue, because we won't have papilla here, right? We won't have papilla. Take a look at this. This alveolar ridge is already healed, and then we don't have papilla here. And depending on the smile line of the patient, this will be a challenge. So I will add now all the implants and papilla and everything. So let's see how this case was planned. We are adding now, I think we have at least the positions of the lower dental implants. Okay, so you have markers that you can help your intraoral scan. Doing the intraoral scan of a large dentulous span is challenging, but there are strategies on the literature. Okay, so I'm going to refer to you guys some references here, like this one, and then you have the upper ones as well, right? So we have these positions, and why those implants were placed here? Well, first you need to plan the prosthesis, as you guys know. So let's see how the prosthesis was planned beforehand. And there you have it. Okay, let me position this slightly better. Okay, so the green one is the places where we are going to have the implant-supported crowns, but then the blue ones are the pontics. Okay, so you plant your dental implants. Of course, you need to know from the CBCT where we have bone availability for those dental implants. So it's prosthetically driven, but also you need bone. You need bone volume to plan those dental implants, to digitally position those dental implants, and then you need an implant planning software. If you guys don't remember how to read CBCT on Daikon viewers and implant planning software, I will add both links here on the top right corner of this screen. Okay, so it will show at some point. And then we have of course, the rest of the prosthesis, and then we need to understand how we are going to do with this planning, right? Okay, so let's add now the crowns. So I'm going to add slowly. First, the gingival tissues. Of course, we need the gingival tissues because otherwise we won't have statics. We already lost a lot of tissue volume here because of the bone loss as well, right? And now you have, of course, the design of the gingival tissue based on the design of the crowns. Of course, you do first the crowns. But let's understand here how was those gingival tissues first. Okay, then you have, all right, the design of the gingival tissues. Okay, they are transparent for you to see the relationship with the tissues of the patient. Okay. Now let's see how the crowns were designed, and then you guys will understand why the gingival tissues have these shapes. And of course, those will be pink statics. So let's add now. So now you are seeing we have the molar, all right, the premolar, and then we are starting to see some future curve of Spee here, all right. Now we have the anteriors, let's see. Now lateral, central incisor, take a look at this. Also, don't forget that the CAD/CAM technician will design your central incisors based on incisive guidance in protrusion, based on the canine guidance in lateral excursion. So the principles of occlusion, right? Axial loading, okay? Lack of contact in the non-working side. So those are the principles of occlusion. If you guys don't remember, go back to our video of principles of occlusion, very nicely summarized and teaching you guys how to adjust the occlusion on these principles. Okay, then you have the other lateral, and then the canine is planned to be kept. So maybe you would remove a roll restoration or do a crown, or here it's part of the planning to keep the canine as it is, right? So now you have the premolars, all right, and then the upper molar, okay, and then we need to understand that we need space here for the that's why we are taking advantage of this space to have the gingival tissue as well. And that's why we have FP3 type of prosthesis in the Misch classification. Now the lower molar, and then we have a very nice curve of Spee. Take a look at this curve of Spee, which will prevent a lot of issues from happening. And that's the curve that we are talking about. So it's an ascending curve from a lateral view at the end of the cusps, so in the tip of the cusps of the teeth. Again, go back to the video of principles of occlusion, if you guys don't remember that. And now we need to see how will be the occlusion on the lower anterior quadrant, right? So quadrants. All right, so now you have the central incisors, lateral incisor, and canine. Okay, and now if this canine doesn't have a nice tip to do the lateral excursion, maybe we need to include this canine in the planning as well, right? But for the moment, it's not part of the planning. I assume that in the retorticulator there was a very nice lateral excursion with the canine touching, okay, with the canine touching in the working side, of course, not in the non-working side, okay? And then finally we have the molar of the other side, occlusion finishing on the 6th, and of course that's standard stuff. You can also do this in a, if you still want to remove this other teeth, then this would be just a step of the treatment. Then you would include this teeth later. Maybe you are doing just a temporary prosthesis for a specific situation. So we are just assuming here because we don't have the CBCT, right? But the occlusion is nicely planned. Take a look at this. We have the curve of Spee, nicely set up of the curve of Spee. Okay, even the curve of Wilson. Okay, we would see. We are seeing the emergency profile of this teeth when we see the back of the mesh. All right, and then of course you try to reproduce the natural anatomy and the natural existing situation, okay, of the patient. If we have a picture of the patient, then we would superimpose this picture on the exocad. That's just a viewer, of course, but the CAD technician would do that for you very nicely, all right? And then those are the intraoral scans, of course. So your nice intraoral scans or the cast of the patient. Here, I believe it's actually the impression of the patient leading to a conventional dental cast, so a gypsum dental cast, which was scanned with a desktop scanner. So you can also use your desktop scanner if you don't have an intraoral scan, okay, or if you principles of occlusion, bilaterally occlusion balanced, of course, you want contacts on both sides. You would try to go for tripodized contacts, but sometimes that's not possible, so you would prefer cusp to fossa contact instead of cusp to ridge, to lateral ridge of the cusp, of the molar, of the crown. Okay, so those are very important criteria of, all right? And then after the prosthesis is planned, to plan your dental implants, which in this case it seems that it was already planned. And then after the implants are placed, you could still scan those implants with scan bodies, so with the markers, and then you would be able to make sure. Why would you do that? Why would you scan again the patient? To capture the final situation of the soft tissues after healing, right? After all the surgeries. So you have this as well. Or if it's immediate loading, then you could plan the prosthesis or a temporary prosthesis to be installed right after the implant placement, and that's called immediate loading. All right, we are going to cover those topics in different videos, okay? So if you guys like, please hit the like button, subscribe, give your support to this channel, and see you guys on the next videos.